Alright guys, welcome back to the sawmill. It's Friday and we finally got some ash here on the mill. Let's go over the dimensions real fast and we'll go ahead and get the sawmill cranked up and cut this down to size. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do with it. So the length of this log is 8.5 feet, and the way we have it turned here for sawing, the diameter is 17 inches. And this is on the operator side. And down here on the far end, it looks like it's going to be 19.5. So we have the smaller end facing us down there on the operator side. Had a short little delay right there. I had some thunderstorms coming through, and even though I'm covered here at the sawmill, I don't like sawing up here when lightning's going on. But hopefully we're done with those for the day. Let's go over the measurements here real fast, and I'll tell you guys what my plan is here on this timber. Then I'll probably run down to the house and eat some dinner, and I'll come back up and finish this log up, guys. But this is ash, and this was brought to me last fall, and I had a lot of in-checking when it arrived. I'm not sure how long it had been on the ground before it came here, But the end checking was terrible. I put some anchor seal on the end, but it really didn't make a difference. You can tell on the sides down here, there's a lot of checking going on. But based on what I'm seeing here on the first 4 cuts, the checks don't go up too far, so that's pretty good. I'm going to ignore those as long as they look okay when I start sawing into this thing. And we should be okay. Right now I got it sawed down to a cant, and the width is about, I think it's 14 inches on the height. And we're about 14 inches this way also. I'll probably come up and do an 8-inch cut and get some 1x8s and some 1x6s out of this. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't really want 1x14s on this ash right here. I'm going to be sawing this at 5/4, which is 1 1/4 inches on the thickness, and it will be going straight into the kiln as well. I got about 1,000 feet here to saw up this weekend and hopefully get it drying by Monday. And ash is really known for its low moisture content, even in the spring and summer months. So what we'll do is, the first board or two that comes off the sawmill, we'll grab the Delmhurst and check a moisture reading and see what it reads. Now anything over 32% is really not accurate, and that's about as high as you can check on a moisture meter. So hopefully we'll get a reading below that. I'm thinking probably around 25 to 28%, maybe, you know, that's what I'm hoping for. Sawing up really nice too. I got a 045 7-degree double hard Wood-Mizer blade going, and it's cutting through this stuff really good. Unfortunately, there's a beetle out there called the emerald ash borer beetle, if I'm saying that right, and it's killing all the ash trees. I reckon you can get an ash tree treated if you catch it early enough, and I'm not sure how really successful that is. Around here, every one of them are dying. You can drive down and look in the farms or look over in the forest. In the spring and summertime, you'll see dead canopies, and most of the time around here, it's going to be an ash tree. So there's nothing really they can do for that stuff that I'm aware of. That people are trying to have them treated, but I don't think that's going over too well. So more than likely, ash trees will be a thing of the past. And it's not a real expensive wood. It goes for probably $2 a board foot on 5/4 boards once they're kiln dried in my market. So stick with me here, guys. I'm not sawed ash in a really long time. I think this will turn out pretty good. It's a nice log. Gosh, really nice clear right here. It's really nice. So I'll tell you what, friends, hit that pause button and go down there in the comment section and put your guess in there. See what the moisture content's going to be. I think about 25%. We'll see what happens. Stick with me here, guys. It's going to be a good day. Alright friends, this right here is the widest of the two. Usually I just put them both up here and saw them together because they're the same width. But for demonstration purposes, we're just going to do this one right here and call it a day probably. That crack is not too bad actually. It comes up here to the pith. And on this other side that I just showed you guys, the face of this, I guess you'd call this a small cant. You know, the checking wasn't really too bad actually. There was a little bit of stress in there. When the sawmill made this cut right here to separate those two timbers, there was a little bit of stress that got released, but there's a lot of juvenile wood right here, guys. We've talked about that in the past. Anytime you make a cut anywhere in the juvenile wood section here or the pith, you're going to see stress like that happen. So here's what we're going to do, and I think this is the best way to saw something like this. Like I said earlier, we're doing 5/4 boards, and these are going to be 8 inches wide. That's a really nice width right there. Our first cut up here will probably be rift sawn, but as we start coming down through here, guys, we're going to get some nice quarter sawn ash boards out of this. So why not? You know, I mean, you could probably, you know, you could saw this through and through or whatever, or rift saw the whole thing, but doing this method right here, you get quarter sawn boards, which makes them more stable. And what I mean by that, a quarter sawn board, the width will not move hardly any at all, but the thickness will change while drying, but the width is really stable. That's why people like quarter sawn material. Really stable wood. And ash, you know, most people just rift saw it or saw it through and through. I don't think I've ever seen anybody doing a quarter sawing on ash intentionally. So that's what we're gonna do today, guys. We'll come down here after about the, I'd say after the third cut, we'll start getting this nice grain running 90 degrees here. And we'll probably get about maybe 6 quarter sawn boards. And the top will be rift sawn, and that'd be just fine. I'm really interested to see how this grain looks on these right here once we start coming down. So I'll set up the AccuSet to cut 5/4. I'll come down here below the pith and auto up. That way we can make sure we get the pith captured in one board and not two. And see what happens. This should go pretty well, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what this looks like here. I've never quarter sawn ash before. Something different. All right, friends, what you're looking at is a Delmhurst moisture meter. This is the best moisture meter on the market today, guys. Love this thing right here. If anybody's interested, I don't mind doing a whole video on like a review of this moisture meter. I've showed it in videos in the past, but I've never done a real thorough review of it or kind of talked about the logistics of it here. This is a pretty good investment right here. It's about $500. I'll leave a link down below to Amazon. That's about the cheapest place you can find this at. But it's a really good investment. If anybody's interested in that, just leave me a comment below and we'll do a small review of this tool here and I'll go over the inner workings of it, guys. Extremely accurate right there. So I got my species set up for ash, which is number 7. And we're going to drive these pins in it. These things are huge right here, but that's what you want for thicker slabs. This is 5/4, don't really need it, but we'll use them because they're on here. Turn those with the grain. Sure they're tight. I think they're tight. Yeah, it's tight enough. A little hand pressure to get it started. That's all you need. All right, guys. Let's see what the moisture was. I was betting on 25%. Let me turn this thing around so y'all can see it here when I look at it for the first time. 30.5%. Or about 29, bad, between 29 and 30% right there. A little bit higher than I thought, but that's a lot lower than most timber would be. If this was walnut or red oak or something like that, it would go up to 32, which is that's as high as this meter will go. So it's not too bad right there. 29 on the moisture. Good information, guys. That's something you need to know. And once again, if you want to see a good video on this Delmhurst, leave me a comment below and we'll do one this weekend. So not too bad here, friends. Got some nice straight grain right there. Got the pith right there on that side. That will be trimmed off after it's kiln dried. But I like that nice uniform look right there, and it's really stable, guys. It looks really nice right there. Not too bad.